Persistent Rumor presents Chocolate Yoddah Live. Hey. Hi, folks. Chocolate Yoddah here, spelled Y-O-D-D-A-H, because film studios are litigious. Welcome to another installment of Chocolate Yoddah Live. And just in case, I know it's in the opening on YouTube, but it is brought to you by my podcast, The Persistent Rumor. That said, let's see what today is. Today is Thursday, July 27th, 2023. I know because the internet told me so. Hello to the folks at Wisdom. Our first guest, let's see, we have a tie for first. I believe Zen Master was first. Hello, Zen Master. Thank you for joining me. And hello to the folks at Clubhouse. I'm not sure I'm going to keep doing Clubhouse for the short term, because I know when I switch over to the audio for the Wisdom guest, that Clubhouse cannot hear me, and that's a little weird. So I might stop that. I don't know. I think I'll decide after tomorrow's show. So it's an interesting time in America. On Wisdom, I added to the title. On YouTube, I just wrote that this is going to be random thoughts, and then on Wisdom, I wrote random thoughts and F bleep bleep CKER Carlson. I don't call him Tucker. I call him something else. Just take the T away and put an F there. That's what I call him. Effer Carlson. And I know he's kind of circling the drain, but he got on my radar last night because my son sent me a link to a Twitter video, or I guess now it's called X. I wish I was in the meeting where however number of people that Elon Musk consults for these things, assuming he consults everyone, he is a bit of a psychopath, so he might not consult anybody for these decisions. But what was that meeting like where he goes, hey, you know how we are one of the most recognizable brands on planet Earth using the name of Twitter, and inexplicably, well, I guess it's not inexplicable, but inexplicably we call our posts tweets, even though I refuse to say that. That sounds dumb to me. It's like, I get it, Twitter, bird, blah, 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 but I'm not going to call it a tweet. I'm going to call it a post. So I have Twitter posts. But, recognizable name, Twitter, tweets, all that stuff. Let's ruin all that. Let's destroy the branding that we've built up for so many years. And now let's call it X. And simultaneously, let's steal the logo from another company. I don't know if you're aware of that, but I think there's some German... what did they say they did? I think they might have been an EDM company or so. I don't know. I think it's a German company, but they stole the X from a German company. And it's not like it's close. It's not similar. They just stole it outright. Oh, what a jerk. But why? Why would you rebrand? Your brand is international. It's instantly recognizable. Everybody knows that Twitter is the giant bathroom wall on the internet. Why would you change the branding and then be so blatantly uncreative as to steal the logo from another company? Like, people notice these things. You know, you can't just do that anymore. It's not like it was. Like Dave Chappelle makes that joke about how, you know, years ago, if you wanted to leave your wife and children, you could just move one town over. Nobody would ever find you. Those days are long gone. Like, you know, I can tell that a lot of these Republican talking heads, these craven idiots, that they're used to the old paradigm. They're not used to being fact-checked, so they will just spew nonsense that very often contradicts the last nonsense that they spewed a day or two ago or last week or last year, and they don't realize, hey, we've got the receipts, right? That's what people call them now. When you have video or audio evidence of, or even written evidence of something someone said or did, like, we have the evidence, we have the receipts, we can show you what you said and how you're lying now, or how you changed your story now because you were lying then. You know, we've caught you. And it's like, Elon, like, people are going to notice that you stole the logo. It's so blatant. It's so disgusting. Like, what are you doing? You can afford to hire thousands of people who create logos. And I mean, I could have done a better logo. I'm not a professional graphic artist, but the YouTube thumbnail is something that I created, all the logos and stuff. And they're decent. They're not great. You know, if you want to see a great logo, by the way, this is why I call this Random Thoughts, because here I am just going off. If you want to see what I consider to be just a masterpiece of a logo, it's the Universal logo and the Universal Studios logo. Those two logos are just stunning, just beautifully done. So intricate, so much fine detail, so many beautiful layers that blend perfectly together. Oh, I haven't, I've only scratched the surface of being able to create a logo like that. And it's all letters. It's just the words, you know, the word Universal or the words Universal Studios. Because I think that's the Disney attraction, is Universal Studios. And their logo work is just beautiful. Also the Warner Brothers logo, the way they stylized the WB and the shading and the 3D effect of it, it's just stunning work. It's beautiful work. And that is the nerdiest thing that I think about day to day. At this point, I don't do graphics every day, but almost every day. Sometimes it's just, you know, the new thumbnail, but I don't create graphics every day like I was doing, just because I don't have the time to do that. But sometimes, just for relaxation, I'll fire up the graphics program that I use. And I'm not getting paid by them, but it's Inkscape. It's a free program that's basically an alternative to Adobe Illustrator. Is anyone still awake? Hello? Hello? I really have become a computer geek. But yeah, so back to the reason that I brought up Twitter and got into their rebrand. Carlson somehow got Ice Cube to agree to be on his show. I don't understand this. I wish I knew Ice Cube. I briefly dated a woman that knew him, was very close to him, but I ended that a long time ago, so I can't I burned that bridge. Let's say that. I burned that bridge spectacularly, so I can't reach out to her, but he agreed to be on the show of a guy who's just obviously and virulently racist. I mean, Tucker, he is the one that was constantly promoting the idea of white replacement. This is some extreme paranoia. I think this is the result of the deep and profound guilt that some white folks feel about their racism and also their fear of a black planet, with all due respect to Public Enemy. They know that according to estimates, somewhere between 2040 and 2050, the census is going to reflect that the black and brown population is going to be combined larger than the white population. And I'm guessing that makes some people nervous. As George Lopez, who I don't think is particularly funny, once said, don't worry, white folks, we're going to treat you with the same respect you treated us. And that has got to make some white folks nervous. But this white replacement theory is quite stunning. And it's stunning only in its profound stupidity. That somehow Democrats are not protecting the border because they want white people replaced by black and brown people. Yeah, I didn't make that up. It's not a joke. That's what they actually think. The psychos, the virulently stupid that believe that this is a thing, a real thing in the world, that they are willing to open their pie hole and make these sounds come out of their mouth that culminate in the words white replacement. Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing that some people think is actually happening. That is quite stunning. So for Ice Cube to be a guest on the show of a man who is what I would say publicly the chief proponent of this theory is something that I can't wrap my head around. I don't think Ice Cube is desperate for money, but who knows? I don't know. Maybe he's desperate for attention. Maybe he just doesn't know about Effer Carlson, which is possible. Celebrities at Ice Cube's level are the busiest people on the planet, alongside the president. These are just extremely busy people. They don't always get involved in the zeitgeist. And I see that John X wants to come on. I have heard your show before, John X. I think I might have spoken to you once, so I will bring you on in a moment. But yeah, it is amazing to me that Ice Cube decided, and the conversation was kind of ridiculous, and it seemed to be that Effer Tucker had an agenda, but I can't put my finger on it because he seemed to be stressing how Obama didn't help black people, that nothing changed when Obama was president, along with other things. But he was clever because he is a clever bloke, but, ultimately, I don't know what the hell he was trying to get at. So I'm going to bring John X on. It is a pleasure to have the opportunity to chat with you. And right now, I am excellent, man. How are you? Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I have two answers for that. One is I don't care, because I don't care to try to figure out what he's thinking. And I also don't care because it doesn't matter because the damage is still done. So, he's promoting this stuff, and there are people that are engaging in violence as a result of his promoting it. So what his, because it's sort of the same idea as a hate crime, right? I don't understand the point of designating a crime a hate crime. And what I mean by that is if someone is thinking about puppies and flowers while they're stomping my head in, does that make the stomping any less violent and painful? So what's the point? So I mean, you can tack on time, which is good, but the net effect of it is something that I don't understand. And so what Tucker Carlson believes or is thinking while he's saying this horrible stuff is immaterial to me. Sure. Fair enough. Right. Right. Yeah. 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 Well, that's as the lyrics of the song go, same as it ever was. That's from looking into American history, and I'm certainly no historian, but I can read English pretty well, and it seems like the way America is right now is exactly what it's always been. Um, when uh, when I look at like a simple fact, like I never refer to America as the United States because it's literally never been united, not for a second. Like literally, the country started with people divided on the question of whether it was okay to own human beings. And in less than 100 years of its history as a new country, it went to war with itself to answer that question. Right. So it's go back as far as you want, 1492, 1619. Like, it doesn't matter what year you pick as the beginning. It's a place that's never been united. And the fact is that the way the world works, because this is not unique to America, America has some uniqueness in the way it applies this, but if you look at everywhere in the world, there is a small amount of people that control the money and control the resources and control the power. In America, businesses own the government runs our lives on behalf of those businesses. That's how it works. Yeah. Well, it's actually the first 8 months. It goes into October of the first year. So yeah, yeah, right, yeah, right, yeah, yeah. Yeah. And well, here's the thing. Not that I will ever defend the behavior of these people, but I will address the idea of stupidity, because it is a harsh judgment to decide that someone's stupid rather than someone that can be manipulated, because you don't have to be stupid to be manipulated. In fact, very, very smart people are manipulated all the time. That is the function of propaganda. And I talk about it a lot because it is the most powerful communication tool in the world. And it doesn't matter what your education level is, it's a brain hack. It was developed by a psychologist, a very famous psychologist. His name was Edward Bernays, and the only reason I know that is because he was Sigmund Freud's nephew. So we're talking about a very powerful psychology family, and he figured out that repetitive messaging will get through to the brain no matter what, no matter how smart you are, no matter how dumb you are. If you take a message and you repeat it over and over and over again, and you never waver, and you are supremely confident in your messaging, people will believe it. That's why people believe that the 2020 election was stolen, because that messaging started before the 2020 election, months before, and really years before. If you think about the groundwork that Donnie Dump laid, was fake news, right? He started that movement, and which is an assault on the fourth estate of America, one, the most important industry, because I think it's the only industry cited in the Constitution, and it's the idea of who watches the watchers, right? So once you start assaulting the news, and then you start repeating these other messages over and over again, no matter how smart someone is, they are going to be susceptible to that. Right. Right. Yeah, it's dismissive and reductive to call someone stupid. Do some people deserve it? Yes. But as a general rule, it's the same as like, it's sort of like when you said that Ice Cube identifies more as a businessman than a black man. Is that something you heard him say about himself? Okay, so that's the interesting thing. So that's when we start to assign values and characteristics to people. And I'm not saying you're wrong. You could very well be right. But if he didn't say it about himself, then we're working with assumptions, right? I don't know what's in Ice Cube's mind. I don't know what's in his head. I'm only going to look at his actions. And yes, his actions could now be completely aligned with that of the way business works, because he's at that level that he can make those kind of decisions. He can be influential. And whether it's malevolent or benevolent, I don't know. You said that he aligned with Dump because he thought that Dump was going to be a good thing. And, a few people got that message. Even 50 Cent was saying that kind of thing. He was saying, oh, he's going to be good for my taxes and stuff. So that's narrow-minded. That might be a function of ignorance. Who knows? But some people did think that there was a chance that Dump was going to be a good idea. Yeah, right. Yeah, hold that thought and come back up. Come back up. All right. I'm in suspense. I want to know the answer to what is the real question. Fire away. Mm, mm-hmm, Yeah, well, and that's the nature of compromise. No one's going to get 100% of what they want. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, right. Well, yeah, but just on that quick point, that's another function of propaganda. The fear of socialism is something that is entirely propagandized. America functions under several aspects of socialism. You know, like the fact that you and I are talking right now, the electricity and the infrastructure that facilitates signals bouncing off a satellite so that we can communicate is a socialist function. That's something the government provides as part of the infrastructure. The roads that you drive on, the water that comes to your house, the garbage that gets picked up, all of these, and there's a long list of socialist functions in America, but because Americans have been conditioned to be afraid of that, some people are afraid of it. Sure. Right. Right. Yeah. 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 Well, that's the way the game is structured. And again, this is one of those same as it ever was moments. I've mentioned this before, and people might get tired of hearing it, but I think it's so significant that all historians refer to James Madison as the chief architect of the Constitution. And in the first Federal Convention of 1787 in Philadelphia, he wrote something that's a part of the publicly available record of that convention. It's on page 400 something, I think 422 or something like that. And I don't have the quote in front of me, but he basically was saying that the government's role should be to protect wealthy people from everyone else. The way he said it was protect the few opulent from the other many, right? Which is, it can be interpreted as protect the wealthy from the poor, but I think it means just protect the wealthy from everybody. Because, that was a time in history where citizens would rise up and kill the royal family, so they knew, they were like, yeah, and again, the chief architect, this is the most popular, influential founding father with regard to the Constitution. And that's what he said. And guess what? That's what America's always been. In every financial crisis that America has ever experienced, the first response of the government is, are wealthy people okay? Right? I mean, we just saw it in 2020. They printed $2.1 trillion, and 83% of that money went to wealthy individuals and businesses. You've got the 6 largest publicly traded oil companies. And the last time I looked at this was the first quarter of 2022, I believe. They made $30 billion, not in revenue, in profit. $30 billion in profit, and those companies are getting government subsidies, same as it ever was. Yeah. 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 The police. Yeah. 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 Right. And people don't realize that the huge economic imbalance between white folks and black and brown folks, I believe for every $13 that I think it's, what is it, 13 to 1, something like every $13. Yeah, 13. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's crazy, and much of that is because black and brown folks were kept out of land ownership. And it is what it is. That's why when people make the argument that slavery ended in 1865, it's like, yeah, it got redirected. It didn't end. Like even the document that people reference, which is the 13th Amendment, like literally the first paragraph says slavery is illegal unless you're incarcerated. and then you can treat people as slaves. So, and then, the black codes came, and then the Jim Crow era came, and then, black cities were being destroyed just because white folks were terrified that they might get any kind of footing in the economic and power structure. So, it's not like, slavery ended and just everything was cool after that. Like, that's a ridiculous idea. And to your point, white folks are still benefiting from that structure, and black folks are not. Like the FHA laws explicitly excluded black folks. The GI Bill explicitly in the law excluded black folks. So it's people just don't, even highways, the fact that black families were displaced and white families weren't, these are all racist functions, and it ain't ancient history. Who was it? Well, I don't want to say the name in case I'm wrong, but a big, huge bank just got busted for redlining. This was something that was made illegal in 1985, and it's still happening because they're still trying to divide and conquer. Yes. Same as it ever was. Yeah. Yeah. Right. 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 Yeah. That's another thing people are woefully ignorant of, is how much Saudi money is in the American government. It is shocking. Yeah. 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 And you're about to run out of time, John, and unfortunately I have to get going, but I want everybody to check out John's podcast, Born in Trouble, and his wisdom channel. It's good stuff. I've listened to him a few times, and thank you, John. You were a great enhancement to this episode. I truly appreciate your participation, and I'm gonna say hello to the folks on Wisdom before I head out of here. Hello, Marcianne, Queen of Swords, and Queen is spelled Kween. Love it. Zen Master, Truly Julie, Cecilia Grace, Michael J, Penny Frampton, K. Jeter, Magnificent Aquarius, Greg's Take, my buddy Greg. In my opinion, Greg's Take is the best wisdom channel, and I don't care who knows it. And I have, very stylized writing. Looks like Teddy. I think formerly the artist known as Chuck, but judging by the icon. But Teddy's on here. Life, Love, Lessons. We heard from John X. And rounding out, we've got Joshua Allen and Asel Lam. I think that's how you say it. Thank you, folks, for indulging my random thoughts today. Again, I can't emphasize how wonderful the contribution was from John X. It really made this episode hum along. And I do this every day, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to watch it, although I think on YouTube, today's episode was probably completely jacked up because none of the tech was working right. But I might have a chance to fix that. But on YouTube, you could find me, youtube.com/@thepersistentrumor. That is the channel. If you want to check out the live shows, you just click on the live tab. Otherwise, there's over 300 videos that you can watch in the other section between full-length videos, shorts, all that good stuff. And I'm on Wisdom and I'm on Clubhouse. But again, I think maybe starting with Monday, I might not include Clubhouse because I think, I have to double check, but I think Clubhouse cannot hear the whole conversation. So until that's fixed, I think I might refrain from broadcasting on that. But other than those useless comments I just made, thank you, everybody, again for listening. Peace, love, and granola. Talk to you soon.